Sunrise paints the highway gold, another mile to go. Got my coffee hot and strong, feeling that diesel flow. From the mountains to the plains, across the country wide, there's a story in each haul, with Todd right by my side. Oh, Trucker Todd, he's on the road with his camera in hand, sharing tales from the big rig across the promised land. From the engine's roar to the scenic view, every moment clear and bright. Trucker Todd, he lights up the screen day and through the night. He shows us how the gears all shift, the struggles and the grace. The lonely stretch is friendly, stops at a steady, honest pace. For every truck stop, diner meal, and every sunset hue, Todd's there with a friendly wave, making every journey new. Oh, Trucker Todd, he's on the road with his camera in hand, sharing tales from the big rig across the promised land. From the engine's roar to the scenic view, every moment clear and bright. Trucker Todd, he lights up the screen day and through the night. He's got the tips for maintenance, the jokes to make you smile, connecting strangers far and near, from mile after mile. It's more than just a journey, it's a community so grand. With every upload, every trip, he's the best in all the land. Oh, Trucker Todd, he's on the road with his camera in hand, sharing tales from the big rig across the promised land. From the engine's roar to the scenic view, every moment clear and bright. Trucker Todd, he lights up the screen day and through the night. So give a like and subscribe to Todd's channel, true and bold. More adventures on the way, stories yet untold. Honk, honk.
All right, y'all, hang with me just a second. We're having some audio issues. I tried to get them fixed in the first couple of minutes, and usually the long intro gives me time to do it. It did not this time. We're almost there. Come on. We'll get it in just a second. The problem was I was in a phone call right before I came on the air, and it messed everything up. All right, it should be better now. Let's see. Yep, it should be better now. All right, let's get the banner up, and then we'll jump into it. All right. Sorry for the rough start. I think we've got things fixed now. If you're having trouble hearing me, put it in the comments and I'll work on it some more. I was having some audio issues with the music too. It was skipping. And while all of this is going on, let's go through over here. The music was, like I say, skipping while all this was going on. Sorry, I got distracted for a second. Let's say hello to the Gorilla Gang, to the channel members. Robbie Ross is the longest standing one at 29 months. Then we got Ramon, Adam, Racing Ray, Corey Oatley, Jesus Name Above All Names, Michael, Oser DM, Adam, 404 Dave, Trucker Dave, and Middle Tennessee Family, and Darth Wampus is our channel members. We've got, looks like there is, well, it's not showing me. I think there's, here it is. Yeah, there's 13 of us. It's up 18%. So I appreciate y'all supporting the channel in that way. We're going to get to the topics here in just a second. So bear with me while I'm still navigating through all of this stuff. All right. We had somebody say something stupid in the comments. I'm going to leave it and address it. So the very first in here today was Roger Berry. He said, replay gang. And I said, are you not going to be able to join us today? And he did not respond. So he'll be catching the replay. Want to remind y'all that if you don't catch the live, that you can still watch the replay. You can still give it a thumbs up. You can still comment. And I'll do my best to respond as quick as I can, just like I do here. Man, everything is acting wacky. I don't know what it is. This part of the country, the Wi-Fi is, or not the Wi-Fi, the cellular internet for both Verizon and AT&T is questionable at best. Next after that was TC Boggs joining us tonight. He says, groovy, thanks for being here, man. And Scott Smith says, good evening, Todd. Hey, everyone. Hey, Scott, thank you for coming in tonight. And here's the first dumb comment of the night. Stupid song. I want to explain something to you guys real quick. We got a lot to get to tonight. But this video, and all my videos, go out to thousands of people every week. If you look at my community post, I post it sometimes. And that's just for YouTube. That's not the other platforms. When they go into shorts, it goes to like 6 different platforms. And so thousands of people watch this every week. Now, that's not me bragging. That's me saying when you do anything that thousands of people watch weekly, it's impossible to please everybody. You know, if I did a heavy metal song, that would offend some people. If I did a Christian song, that would offend some people. It is what it is. If you're that easily triggered over 3 minutes or 5 minutes of video, then you've got bigger problems than my song selection. So, Mr. Griggs likes to come on here and say off the wall things, but he keeps coming back every week. And I don't know why. If I watch something on TV and I hate it, I quit watching it. I don't come back every week and say, I wonder if the next episode will tick me off as bad as this episode did. So I mentioned in the title that there's going to be some ranting tonight. So get ready for that. It's coming. We're also going to talk about MATS. So I hope you'll stick around for all that. Gary Cook says, good evening, Trucker Todd. I'm listening from home. Man, I'm glad you're here. I always really appreciate it when y'all watch from home, because I know how valuable home time is and how valuable family time is. And I appreciate y'all coming in. And Brian Produce says he loves the song. Well, I appreciate that. I do. And I appreciate the negative comments as well. It's just, man, I wish when people said something negative, it was more articulate, more thought out. Half the time they send me comments and I know they're trying to be negative, but they don't even make sense. They're not even complete sentences. At least if you're going to insult me or call me dumb or something like that, at least make sure you don't sound dumb calling me dumb. Blues Trucker says, good evening, Trucker Todd from Big Cabin, Oklahoma. Just finished my 10, having some coffee. I drank more coffee at MATS than I've drank in a long time. I usually only drink coffee in cold weather, but there was a booth there that I made some friends with the people there, and so I'd stop by and have coffee with them. Stephen P. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. And we're going to get a couple more, and then I'll jump into the first deal of the night. Andrew Hurricane, good to see you, Todd. I enjoyed your interview with Truck Parking Club. Hopefully everyone got a decent load coming out of Kentucky. So on the Truck Parking Club interview, I got to be honest with you. People told me it wasn't that bad. I felt like it was the worst interview I've ever done. What happened was right like 30 seconds before we went on, the guy that was interviewing me had to go run an errand real quick. And he's like, hey, just open the show. And it's a lot different to open a show to your own audience where you kind of know your demographics and what they're looking for than it is to go on and open somebody else's show that you don't know nearly as much about and then do it in that venue. And so I was a little off, and then it made me a little nervous. I got a little rattled, and I didn't do as good as I would have liked to have done. I forgot where I was at when I was talking in a couple of spots. And so I would have, it's not my finest hour, but we got through it. A lot of people have said it's not as bad as I think it is. I'm a lot more critical of myself, and I expect a lot more out of myself. They've been wanting me to come on their Monday show, and I'll do that at some point here really soon and redeem myself. But as for getting a good load out of Kentucky, I left the hotel this morning, and they sent me a message about 9:30 this morning, said, hey, are you still wanting to leave out today? I said, yeah. I was expecting a pre-plan pretty quick. 5 hours later, they sent me a terrible load that was a 2-day run, and it was going to work out. It was $3 a mile, but because of how short it was going to work out to about $200 a day. I said, no, I can't do that. It ain't profitable. I'll just wait and see what else comes up. So then a couple hours later, they sent me another one, and it was a 3-day run delivered out on Wednesday, had 2 stops on it. And it worked out to about $500 a day. It was about $1,600 and something for 3 days. And I was like, nah, I can't do that one either. I'll just wait and see what comes up tomorrow. Because from running the load board days, I know that Sunday afternoons are leftover loads that nobody covered. And so I know Monday there will be a bunch of new stuff posted. Now, it may be 10:30 or 11 in the morning, but it's going to be a lot more productive load if I just wait in the morning. Most of the stuff over here at TransAm's been pretty good. But in hindsight, I probably should have just set my ready time for Monday morning and not dealt with the nonsense today. I did go to Walmart. I did get some groceries for the truck because it was empty after being at MATS. And that's kind of all I've done today. When this ends, I got to shoot some videos for the week, time permitting. And that's kind of what's going on here. I want to talk about a couple of things real quick, though, and then we'll jump back into your comments. I've been dealing with a lot of weird stuff this week. I want to address a couple of more criticisms. You know, when you're owner, operator, lease purchase, whatever you want to call it, when you're a truck driver, I guess it applies to company drivers as well. When you're a human being, you've got a lot on your plate, a lot you're thinking about, a lot you're dealing with on any given day. And the one thing I spend zero time thinking about, worrying about, concerning myself about is what to title myself or what others title me. So if somebody's flipping out, if I'm a content creator or influencer, they can call me whatever they want to. I spend 0 hours thinking about that. I just come out here, do my thing. I get my views without having to attach a title to myself. If you want to say I'm an owner operator, fine. You want to say I'm a independent contractor, fine. I don't care what you call me. People's opinion of me or thoughts about me don't influence what I say, what I do. That's part of the reason I don't watch a lot of YouTube channels related to trucking. It's because I don't want it to be influencing what I think, say, feel, things like that. I don't want to watch a really good video from YouTuber A and YouTuber B and then come on here and basically regurgitate what they said. And you go, well, I heard Trucker A say that, or I heard Trucker B say that. And so I don't do this. These opinions, I read stuff on the internet and I talk to people on the phone and I come up with my own thoughts and opinions. And I never sit there and go, man, I wonder if I'm a content creator, or I wonder if I'm an independent contractor or an influencer. I'm obviously all of those things. I mean, you can't call me a recruiter and say I'm not an influencer. I influence people to go to companies according to you. So we've had people in here say, yeah, Todd's gave me advice. Todd's influenced me. We've had that happen. You can't say I'm not a creator if I'm putting videos out. I'm literally creating videos. Now, you can debate me on if I'm an owner operator or not. I would tend to agree with you. If I don't own something, I'm not an owner operator. That would go for most of us, even if it's bank financed. If you don't have a title sitting in your filing cabinet or in the glove box of your truck, you're not an owner. The bank is a co-owner. At best, you're a co-owner operator. The bank has a lien on that vehicle. If you're leasing the truck, I guess you're a lease operator or a lease purchase operator. But I fail to see what any of that matters in the real world. How you financed something doesn't matter. And I'll tell you why. Because the bank can still come take that truck away from you if you don't have the title. Even if you have the title, the government can take the truck away from you. Try not paying your taxes for a few years and see how that works out for you. So we're all beholden to someone. And I don't get why we feel like we've got to tear people down or try to levitate ourselves above others. I had a guy this week. Well, Todd, and every bit of his information was wrong. He's like, you can't take the truck to other companies. Yes, I can. There's actually a pathway where I can take this truck to another company if I want to. And TransAm's not the only one. Swift has several ways you can do it. They have one called trip leasing where you can do it temporarily. They have another one where you can put some money down and completely take the truck to another company. SFI has options to take the truck to another company. TEL has options to take trucks to different companies. So that stereotype is not true anymore. Now, 10 years ago, yeah, it was true pretty much everywhere. Some of them, oh, well, you can't turn down loads. Well, I think today I've proven you can turn down loads. I mean, we just generalize. Well, you're at a training company. Well, TransAm don't train. Oh, it's, well, you don't have benefits. Well, I've got medical, dental, vision, life, disability. What benefit do I not have? It's so I mean, here's what I don't get, and then we're going to get back to the comments. These people keep saying what they're doing is so much better than what I'm doing. Well, if that's true, why are they watching my videos trying to figure out what I'm doing, how I'm doing? Why aren't they just content in their own little world doing what they're doing? Well, it's because they're not happy. They're miserable. Well, this guy that I was talking about here, he finally reveals, oh, Todd, well, first he said, he tried to bait me. He said, well, I guarantee you I made more money than you this week, or something to that effect. And I said, well, I'll take that bet. But I said, the problem is you're just trying to bait me into showing you my income. But trust me, I had a very good week. And then he admits, well, Todd, I'm a company driver. I make 80 cents a mile, and I run almost 4,000 miles a week. And I'm like, well, congratulations. But to say, I mean, if that is true, if everything he's saying is true, that puts him in like the top 5% of company driving jobs pay-wise. Or let's call it top 10%. What he's saying is not true across the board. He's saying that he's in an elite position. He thinks he makes more than me. But that doesn't mean, even if he's correct, even if everything he's saying is correct, that doesn't mean that every company driver does. And it also doesn't mean that I've got anything against company drivers. That's a common misconception about me. I have shared on here that prior to coming to TransAm, I talked to a company in Lubbock, Texas about being a company driver and pulling milk and being home every day. But at $21 an hour, that wasn't something I was wanting to do. 40 to 50 hours a week. It's $1,000. You take out taxes. You got 700, let's say. No, I'm not doing it. Not doing it for 700 a week. Maybe one day I will. It's just not something I'm ready to do right now. So if you're wondering what goes through Trucker Todd's head when he's going down the road, the answer is a lot of things, but none of them are about what title I should have with myself or what label I should have with myself. I'm just out here being me, doing me, and I'm happy with my life. My family's happy with my life. Somebody said recently that, my wife was going to leave me. I was going to be homeless. This is when I came to TransAm. And it's really funny because she's actually talking about coming on the truck with me because I've been so successful. But I mean, these people, it's, and I've been in this rabbit hole trap before. They say, well, prove it, Todd. Show us your settlements. Show us your money. And first of all, I've never claimed to be rich. I've never claimed to have all the answers, have it all figured out. But I've said I'm happy and my family's happy. But I've said that there's no benefit to showing that stuff. First of all, half of you think I'm bragging. Half of you think I'm lying. You accuse me of making AI-generated settlements like Trucker's Coach did at a few of his companies. And first of all, I'm not that technically savvy. I appreciate y'all thinking I have the technical know-how to do that. I don't know how to do that. But even if I did, I don't have the time or the energy to make a bunch of false settlements for people I don't know that still aren't going to believe me or like me anyway. And so I don't worry about it. Let people say what they want to say. Let them think what they want to think. But, man, sometimes they say stuff so stupid, I don't even know how to respond to it. Next up, it's Michael. He says, good evening. Good evening, Michael. Thank you for being here. Brian Produce, what do you prefer, Todd, Carrier or Thermo King? So, honestly, I like them both. I probably slightly like Thermo King better just because their network of shops and repair facilities. It seems like that it's easier to get something fixed when you've got a Thermo King, but I run both, have ran both. At Garrison, they had both. I'm assuming Prime has both. I hadn't paid that much attention to it. They're very similar in how you operate them, especially here at Prime. They have IntelliSat things in there. I think Prime has all Thermo King, but Garrison had Carrier and Thermo King, and like them both, I just feel like that that Thermo King, it's easier to get serviced. South Winder Bender. Hey, I like that name. Good evening, Trucker Todd. Are you still at MATS? Yeah, basically, so the hotel I stayed in was in Clarksville, Indiana, and I drove about 12 or 15 miles north of there to Memphis to the Loves. I went to the Walmart in Clarksville, Indiana earlier today, bought some groceries and stuff. And then I come up here at the Loves, like I say, about 12 or 13 miles north of there, and came here to get a drink refill and kind of hang out and wait for a load, whether it come tonight or in the morning. And hopefully I can get some more videos shot for y'all this week. I have now been at TransAm for 45 days. And so we got to do a 45-day review. And we're halfway through our 90-day lease. And man, I've had some dumb questions. Todd, what's a 90-day lease? How do you purchase the truck? Oh my gosh. A 90-day lease is not a purchase. It's a lease that lasts 90 days. Now, this one's technically a lease purchase because you can pay the balloon payment at the end of the 90 days and own the truck. But I can't imagine anybody would do that because it would be astronomical. It would be, I mean, if at 45 days from now, if I still love the truck, the date that they sell it off is December 30th of 2027. I'd be better off to lease it till then and pay the balloon payment then because it'd be a lot less. But a 90-day lease is a lease that lasts 90 days with an optional balloon payment at the end, or you can refinance it or you can turn it in. I quite honestly do not know what I'm going to do right now. A lot of doors open for me at MATS, and so I may purchase a brand new truck. I may lease a brand new one from TransAm. They got some Freightliners in I really like. I may stay in this truck. I may get another Kenworth just like this one, 23 or 24. If I like everything about the truck, but I determine it to be unreliable, I might just get another one of these and see if I have better luck with it. Do a 6-month lease on one of them. But that's the beauty of having options. You go to a lot of these companies like SFI, for example. You're in a 4-year lease. You get a truck that's a lemon. You get a truck that has problems. Well, you're in it for the 4 years. You're married to that truck for the 4 years. And you still got a pretty good sized balloon payment at the end of the 4 years. I've got choices here. 6 weeks from now, if I generally don't like this company, I can take my lease completion bonus, my maintenance money, my escrows, and I can take my toys to another playground. If I like it here, but I want to experience truck ownership again, I can go buy a truck and lease it right back on here to TransAm. If I want to go do another lease purchase somewhere else, I can take all that money I just mentioned, put it in the bank, have a little nest egg, and start at another company. But I can tell you this, I've come here, I've made some friends that have come here, and we're all having similar experiences. We're all making the kind of money we want to make, and it's almost double what the recruiter told us we were going to make. And we're all getting decent loads. We're all doing well. Our equipment's running good. And so I don't think I'm getting special treatment just because I'm Trucker Todd, because I see other people having the same experience. I can't tell you at the terminal how many people have walked up to me and said, man, Todd, I appreciate your videos. You're right. This is a pretty good company. It used to suck here. And I've had dozens of people tell me that. Todd, I've been here 7 years and it used to be terrible, but they got rid of a bunch of office people. And when we went from mileage pay to percentage, it was like going to work for a whole new company. It was so much better. Now, anything could happen. They could get bought out. They could, the way companies are going under, they could file bankruptcy. So nothing lasts forever, and it's always good to have a backup plan. But so far, so good. I'm happy here. Now, do I know every single thing there is to know about this company? Absolutely not. And some of you have asked me questions, and I say, hey, I got to find out. I'll get back to you. And I have to make a phone call or send a text, and then I get the information and I contact you back. Heck, I still have to ask questions for myself sometimes. Hey, how do we do this? Hey, what's the procedure for that? And I'm fortunate. I've got a dispatcher that is real easy to talk to and communicate with, and he knows how I like to run and what my expectations are. And it's a partnership. I know what his expectations are and what his desires are. And so we have found a way to work together that works well for us. And that's why I'm not sweating not having a load tonight. Tomorrow morning, he'll come in. He knows I'll wake up about 8 or 8:30 in the morning, and he'll send me a message and see where my head's at. And then he'll go to work, and by 10:30 or 11, I'll have a load and I'll be rolling. All righty, let's see here. Man, we've been cruising right along. Gary Cook, did you get to talk to anyone from FMCSA? I did not talk to anyone from FMCSA on camera. They did have a little booth there, and there was quite a bit of people over there, so I didn't even approach them. I did go up and talk to Kentucky State Patrol. They had a big deal there. And I went up and talked to a couple of their officers a couple of times, but I didn't get none of that on camera either. Super friendly at the show. Of course, that's kind of what you'd expect. I'm assuming they're not as friendly in a roadside inspection. But yeah, I talked to a lot of people there. Scott Smith, that was a good interview, Todd. Things happen, so you did well. I just, let me talk about MATS a little bit. I appreciate that, by the way. So the first day, I ran myself ragged trying to get videos out and going to the booths because I had to be at Road Warrior early that morning. Well, not early, but they wanted me there at 10:30 to film a couple of shorts. And so I went there, and then Truck Parking Club, I had some stuff that I needed to get filmed with them. So I went and filmed that, and I was trying to enjoy it and see stuff at the same time. But day one, I just physically exhausted myself. Day two, I was so tired from day one that I put out one video, but it was actually from day one. I didn't really do a whole lot. Day two, I was wore smooth out. And day three, they shut it a little early at 4 p.m. And so I got there that morning. I went and visited with my friends over at Like Trucking. I've got one of their hats on right now, and had a good conversation with them. The owner of Like Trucking took me outside, showed me his pickup. He had a super nice Dodge Ram, matte black. It was the Black Widow edition, $110,000 truck. Had $42,000 worth of upgrades over a regular Ram truck. Super, super nice. And man, I got to tell you, I like TransAm a lot, but I was also very, very impressed with Like Trucking. I knew some people over there already, but I did not know the owner. I got to meet him, and just real impressed with them as a whole. Nobody that comes in here, he's not in here right now, but I don't think he'll probably be part of the replay gang. His mom made some caramel candies. which I know I'm a diabetic. I don't need to be eating them. But I got to tell you, it was worth going to MATS for those. That was by far some of the best caramel I've ever had in my life. And I love caramel. And so I ate 4 or 5 pieces of it over the 2 or 3 days. But, man, I loved it. And I appreciate his mom doing that. His mom's in a wheelchair and has a lot of health problems, but she wanted to show her love and admiration of truck drivers. And she made that caramel and I mean a significant amount of it, bags of it, like shopping bags full of it. They had several plastic bags full of those caramels. And so, man, that's the ultimate thank you when somebody takes time to do something like that, especially when they're older, when they've got some health concerns, and you realize what a struggle it was for them to do that. So, yeah, that's kind of how MATS went this year. I was hoping, that's another thing. I'm fixing to get to TC's comment. That was another thing, though. A lot of the people that I'd worked with in the past were not there this year. I went looking for ES Advantage. They weren't there. The fuel card people. I went to a couple of other booths that I'd talked to before in the past, and they weren't there this year. Some people that I was familiar with was like Church Transportation. They had a booth there, and I went over to say hi to them, but every time I went over there, they weren't at their booth. I don't know if they were doing bathroom breaks or kind of checking out everything. But, yeah, that's kind of how that went. All right, let's get back into TC's comment. He said, bet loads were scarce with all the truckers leaving MATS at once. Yeah, and I knew that. I was kind of hoping, maybe I was a little cocky. I was hoping with Prime's vast freight network that I'd get something good out, but I knew that it might be scarce with that many trucks concentrated in an area, and I should have just booked the hotel one more night and left out tomorrow morning. But either way, this gets me back in the truck. I can pack my stuff away. I've officially got way too much stuff on this truck. I need to go home and offload a bunch of stuff. But yeah, it was a fun time. I wish more of y'all could have been there, maybe next year. But I'll be honest with you, it wasn't as fun as the first time I went. I guess 3 years ago. But it was still a good time. Cheap Freight Hauler says, good evening, Todd. Good to meet you at MATS. Yeah, it was good to meet you as well. Glad we got to do that. Hopefully we'll cross paths again. Sometimes I put out on here where I'm going to be. So if you guys are in the area, holler at me and we'll try to cross paths. I don't know if I gave you my phone number or not. If not, email me and I'll give it to you. Holler at me and we'll shoot text back and forth. And you never know, we may cross paths out here sometime. That's my 2 favorite things about MATS and really truck driving in general is just meeting all of y'all out here in the wild. And that's one of them. And the other one is the networking, getting in touch with the people at the different companies. And, a lot of them I email or text with, but it's nice to shake their hand and talk to them a few minutes, have lunch with some of them in some cases, things like that. So, yeah, I really enjoy going. If you've never been, go. I did a collage video on all the cab overs. I love the cab overs. I regret that I did not get more conventional trucks and videos, but next year I vow to do that. Michael says, owning your own truck isn't cracked up to what people think. I'm back on the hook for everything. Yeah, I will tell you, there's a couple of advantages, though, that people think is stupid, but that are really big for me. And they're not what you think. Like a lot of guys say, well, I can go faster. So what? So what? The things that matter about that is when it comes time for maintenance, you get to make the call. If your truck needs tires, you get to pick what brand of tires go on it instead of the company putting you know, the cheapest Chinese tires they can find, or recaps on the drives or something like that. I like being in charge of maintenance, making tire selection choices, making oil selection choices, even filter selection choices. I don't want the cheap filters. I want the best filters they got if it's my truck. And so those things are really important. And a lot of companies just halfway do stuff, band-aid it, and this way you're a decision maker on those things. And to me, even if you make less money, it's worth it for that right there. Also, the second thing is, I don't like having to slip seat. I don't like getting comfortable in a truck. And this happened at one of the last company jobs I had. I'd have a truck for 4 or 5 months, get real comfortable in it. And, oh, Todd, we're going to put you in another truck. Then I got to move all my stuff from one truck to another truck. I don't care how thorough you are. You always lose something because you pack it away and forget where you pack it, or you drop it when you're transitioning from trucks or something. And you're always in a hurry because they got to load and you're under the gun. You got to hurry. And, man, I like getting in a truck, staying in it. And honestly, even on this 90-day lease, that's why I'm leaning towards just staying in this truck, because it's running great. I'm comfortable. I got all my stuff in here, and I hate switching trucks. It's people think, and I've been hearing the trolls lately, oh, he's a job hopper. He's a job hopper. No, I'll put up with a lot of crap before I change jobs, because I don't like switching trucks. And there's no guarantee that the next company you go to is going to be any better than where you're at. If your dispatcher at your current company is a jerk, that doesn't mean the dispatcher at the next company is going to be any better. They're all going to tell you what you want to hear till you get in the door. And so, but number one for me, and I'll go ahead and give you my top 3. And some of this was inspired for the very first time I worked for Swift for 4.5 years, from 96 to 2001. You'd want to go home and you'd say, I want to take 4 days off. Well, no, Todd, you can only take 3 days off, because that's all the time you've accrued. You got to stay out another week if you want that extra day off. Like I've already shared, in April, the last week in April, I'm going home for a week. I don't have to get anybody's permission. I don't have to ask anybody. Nobody says, oh, you've only been out this many weeks, you got to stay out another week. If I've got a doctor's appointment a week later, I can come back again. Nobody's going to tell me I can't do it. Same thing with these loads. Send me 2 bad loads, I can say no. And that's fine. I don't have to, say, well, I'm out of hours, or I feel sick, I feel fatigued. I can say, I just don't want to do it. I don't like it. Doesn't pay enough. I don't want to go to that area, whatever. And so that's another one. But the biggest one by far for me has always been maintenance, because I've worked for these companies where they'll halfway fix stuff. And these companies still do it to a degree. And I'm not talking about TransAm, but they still do it to a degree with their trailers, where they'll say, well, let's just halfway fix it now. And then when we get it to one of our terminals, or when we get it back to our home terminal for the smaller companies, we'll fix it then. Whereas if it's your truck, I've never owned a trailer. I don't know that I want to be honest. But if I did ever own a trailer, I'd want to fix it right the first time. I don't want to Band-Aid fix stuff. Oh, man, I'm glad you commented. This is Jesus' name above all names. Howdy, I'm working hard lately with Hellwig as a company driver, so I haven't had much time for much. But I wanted to say howdy. You know what? I talked to Hellwig on the phone. It had to be 2005, 2006. And I still remember to this day how impressed I was with their company and the way they talked to me, the way they treated me. I ended up making a decision to go to a different company at that time, but I've never forgot how polite they were, how professional they were. And the guy that the original Hellwig, I know the sons are doing pretty much everything now, but the dad, if you go back and read the old post, everybody has a lot of great things to say about him. And he has a really good reputation in the industry. And I'll be honest with you, I haven't heard anything good or bad about the son. I don't know anything about the son, but from all accounts that I've seen, the dad is a great guy. And I think he's still involved, but I think the sons run the day-to-day operations. I've never talked to anybody there, though, above recruiting. TC Boggs says, one day I'll convince you to try tanker. Yeah, you might. You almost convinced me to try that pneumatic or whatever it was you was doing. That looked pretty sweet too. And so for those that don't know, I've always thought TC Boggs is a pretty smart guy. He does a political channel, and I agree with probably at least 90% of what he says politically, and maybe more than that. I just say 90 because I don't agree with anybody 100%, including myself. And so, but he really likes tanker. And I had a guy in the oil field patch a couple of days ago try to talk me into oil field work, telling me how great it was. I currently do not have my hazmat. It wouldn't be a big deal to get it again. I just have to go do it. And so far, I haven't worked at any companies lately where it would really benefit me any. Even Swift says that less than 5% of their loads are hazmat. And, SRO didn't do hazmat. I don't think TransAm does hazmat. And so I haven't had a need for the hazmat endorsement. Having said that, O'Reilly's has a distribution center in Lubbock. And if I had hazmat, I could go to work for them hauling auto parts. There's tons of oil field work pulling a tanker. And TC Boggs works for a really good outfit too. And he seems real happy over there. So, definitely when he says something, I listen to what he has to say. Because even if I thought tanker was a terrible idea, which I don't, but even if I did, I respect his opinion. And like I said, he's a smart guy. I'll listen to what he has to say for sure. We should all be willing to do that. Listen to people that we agree with and listen to people we don't agree with. So we kind of get both sides of the coin. Trucking with T-Bone. What's the fixed costs look like over there if someone brought their own truck? Honestly, it'd be really difficult for me to tell you because, let me tell you why. Your insurance, it would depend if you got your insurance on your own or if you got it through TransAm. And that's going to be based on the value of your truck. I don't know how much your truck's worth. There's optional insurances you can get, dental, vision, health, life, disability, things like that, a legal plan. So it would depend on if you wanted those coverages or not. And so it would be really, really difficult for me to tell you. What I would suggest is if that's something you're interested in, either email me your name and phone number and I'll have Aaron give you a call, or call up there to recruiting and ask for Aaron I can't talk tonight. ERIN is how you spell her name, and just ask her. And the reason I say her is the first time I called, I had a recruiter and we didn't hit it off. And I said, I'm not coming to work there. Well, then Erin called me and we had 2 phone conversations for over an hour. She took the time to answer my questions and had a good experience with her. So that's why I recommend her. I would appreciate it if you tell them I sent you, but if you're hung up on that and don't want to, that's fine as well. My friend that also came over shortly after me, he did ask for Aaron and he said, Todd, I had the same result. I called her, like you said. She took the time. She answered my questions. He's been here over a month now. He said everything she told me has been true or better than what she said. And he said everything you've told me has been true or better than what you said. And he's happy as he can be. Matter of fact, if I'm having a day when I'm down in the dumps, I call him because he's always so happy and cheerful. And everybody needs somebody like that in their life that's always positive attitude and in a good mood. But I personally thought their insurance was a little on the high side. They said that I was welcome to go get my own insurance, that so far they hadn't met anybody that had a cheaper coverage than what they did. So I haven't investigated it yet, but at some point I may compare prices and see if I can beat their insurance. But yeah, I would encourage you for numbers like that to contact her. Now she's telling people when people ask her what they can make out here, the number she's given them is almost half. It's about 60% of what I've been making. I'm making almost double what she said, just running the truck out here working. So you can definitely make some money here. You don't make it sitting in the truck stop like I'm doing right now, but if you get out here and work and deliver your loads on time and manage your fuel and do all the things you need to do, you can make a good living over here. And you don't have the restrictions of Prime, like the AI camera, the inward facing AI camera. You don't have the 64 mile an hour truck, which in your case, you wouldn't have it anyway. But so there's definitely some advantages of coming over here versus Prime. But you do get the fuel discounts of Prime. You get to go to Prime terminals if you want to. And so it seems like to me it's all the pluses without most of the minuses. And Trucking with T-Bone says, "What's up, TC Boggs?" Yeah, we don't get to see him a lot, but he comes in when he can, and I pop in on his channel when I can as well. I usually don't comment. I just kind of listen in the background. But I got to get better about that, about at least dropping in and saying hi or something like that. Uh-oh, my mouse ain't working. We may have to switch mice. He says, hell no, they were trying to get donations at the show. Of course they're going to be nice. Who was trying to get donations? Oh, the FMCSA was trying to get donations at the show. Well, come to think of it, the Kentucky State Troopers were too. They were rifling off a Corvette, and that may be who you're talking about. They were doing donations there. That's funny. I think I donate enough to law enforcement without giving them more at events. Steve Given. Hello, Todd. Hey, Steve Given. Thank you for being here tonight. And thank you for all the good comments lately. I really appreciate you. Let's see. Robert, by the way, you'll be receiving an invoice for the caramels. You know what? That was one of my first questions to nobody when he was giving me those caramels, is I said, hey, does your mom sell these? And he said, no, I've been trying to get her to. I told her there'd be a market for them. And so he's agreed to let me know if she starts selling them, and I may promote them on my channel. They were so good. And they were professionally wrapped and everything. They looked like candy you'd buy at a store. They had that wax paper on them. Man, they were good, though. If she ever sells them, I'll definitely promote them out here. TC Boggs. Hey, T-Bone. Hope you've been well, man. And Trucking with T-Bone. I got a load that picked up from the Expo Center, deadheaded all the way across the parking lot. Oh, man, you hit the jackpot. I bet those loads coming out of the Expo probably pay pretty good, too. I've never thought about it, but I bet they do. And next, somebody, I was hoping he was at MATS. It is Mr. Midlife Trucker. Man, I was hoping you would go to MATS this year. Were major carriers recruiting hard? Did you get the feeling carriers were in need again? So there was a couple of carriers that went after me pretty hard.
Here's some info about Sal.
But I didn't see the big mega carriers there, the Swifts, the JB Hunch, the Snyders. It's a weird vibe. It's not the same as it was 2 or 3 years ago. And they're going for a different audience. That's, they had huge pressure washers there. They had things that maybe people in the trucking industry would need, but not truck drivers. I expected a lot more truck driver stuff than there was anything else. I heard that I did see Ike Stevens and Alex, who y'all know as Mother Trucker, did see both of them at the truck show, shook their hand. It's always fun to do that. I don't think either one of them's a big fan of mine, but that's fine. I still go up and shake their hand. But the reason I brought them up, Ike Stevens, who y'all know as Bonehead Truckers, was wanting to sell T-shirts at the show, and they wouldn't let him sell T-shirts because they had so many other T-shirt vendors there. To me, I don't get it. If he paid his money for his booth, he ought to be able to sell or do whatever he wants to out of his booth. But I was told he wasn't able to sell T-shirts this year because they already had too many T-shirt vendors there. Brian Produce, does anybody remember stopping at the old 76 truck stops? Yeah, there used to be one down on Interstate 10, I think it is, like right when you first get into California, and I think it eventually became a TA. But there was a few in 96 when I started driving, there was a few 76 truck stops around, and I believe them and most of the Rip Griffins got bought by TA back in the day. Steve Given, does Prime own TransAm? That is a great question. I actually asked the owner of TransAm. They do not. This came directly from the owner's mouth of TransAm. They do not own TransAm. TransAm still has some dedicated customer freight that they pull exclusively with their company trucks. Now, what they did do is they gave a bunch of freight to Prime that was their freight, and now Prime sends them loads that they can turn down or then they can then forward to us. It was similar to the Wilson Logistics deal, but it was a little different in some ways. What it did for TransAm was it allowed them to streamline a lot. They was able to get rid of a lot of reefer trailers, a lot of overhead, and just pull freight and stuff like that, and still have their bread and butter customers pulled by their company trucks. And it worked really, really well. And so this was the shock to me. I said, well, what'd you think about them buying Western Flyer Express out of Oklahoma City? He said they actually did not buy Western Flyer either, which I could have swore I read news articles that they did. He said that TransAm was kind of a guinea pig for this program. And he said now Prime is offering it to other companies because it worked so well with TransAm. But so far, they seem to have a really good working relationship together. It really benefited the drivers because the mileage pay at TransAm was horrible. And the fuel discounts were okay, but they're nothing compared to what Prime gets. And I want to say he told me that Prime spends like $500 million a month on fuel between all their trucks with their fuel cards. So they have a lot of buying power, and And so it opened up their terminals to us if we need a place to park, things like that. I do not know if we can get repairs at their terminals or not. It's not something I would look to do because I imagine the wait times would be crazy. But to me, it just looked like Diet Prime. You know, like you have Diet Coke. It's like Diet Prime. You get a lot of the good of Prime without some of the things at Prime that are less desirable. But no, and I know the owner personally. I've had 2 really good conversations with him in person, face to face, and I feel very comfortable saying that Prime does not own TransAm. But for independent contractors, they're our one and only customer. Like every single load we pull is a Prime trailer and a Prime load. And I'm fine with that. And, you know, we talked about me pulling a TransAm trailer to MATS. And because I was staying at a hotel, it didn't make sense. TA didn't have the showers at MATS this year. And so that's why I ended up getting a hotel. If at some point TA decides to bring the showers back to MATS, then I might just stay at my truck because there was a lot of cool stuff going on there, cookouts and stuff like that. It'd be a lot of fun to get out there and meet people and hang out, but I got to have a shower, especially when you walk those kind of miles every day. I got to have a shower. I get sweaty. I get nasty. I want clean clothes, and I want to climb in my bed nice and clean and get a good night's rest. And at the hotel, I was taking a shower at night before I went to bed. And in the morning, I was taking another one before I left so that, you know, it kind of wakes you up in the morning. Andrew Hurricane. I'm currently taking my first round of home time with TransAm. I've enjoyed it so far. Yeah, it's funny because I keep telling people it's not what you think. It's not what you think. And I went through the same thing at Swift. Oh, Todd, you're just trying to recruit. Oh, Todd, they're the worst company ever. Blah, 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 blah. I've got guys like Andrew. I got my other friend August that he may be in here in a little bit. I got my other friend Chris. I've got my other friend Trent that he was here. He had to leave. Had nothing to do with TransAm. It had to do with some issues at home. And they all loved it here. And there's probably a few more that aren't coming to mind right now. So, I mean, if you're so worried about coming to TransAm that I might make $1 off of you, then come and put Andrew down as your referral. Or if you think I'm lying and you think Andrew's lying, then don't come here. Keep doing what you're doing. Look, if you keep doing what you're doing, my life's not going to change. I'll be doing the same thing tomorrow. And, you know, only you know if you're happy doing what you're doing right now. If you are, then fine, keep doing it. But if you don't believe me and you don't believe Andrew and you don't believe August and you don't believe Chris and you don't believe Trent, then probably the 8th or 9th guy that tells you you're not going to believe them either. Robert says, damn, the 76 is old school. Yeah, it is. I think what I miss more than the 76, because they had a pretty good restaurant, but I miss all the mom and pop restaurants. The food was excellent, and it was half the price of what restaurants have become now. And I'm even adjusting for inflation. I mean, you could get a good meal in there for $5 or $6, and it tasted home cooked. And you know, you had waitresses and waiters that were friendly. It wasn't like now where you go in there and it's a Taco Bell and a Subway, or a McDonald's and a Subway, or Arby's. It just, times have changed for sure. Midlife trucker. TC Boggs is a fart smeller. I mean, smart feller. Skinny too. Midlife, I was really hoping you were going to be at MATS. I saw one of your videos, and I was really hoping you was going to be there just to pick your brain a little bit. But yeah, as for TC Boggs, he's lost an insane amount of weight. I don't remember the exact number he told me, but I want to say it was like 200 pounds. He needs to do a video where he shows before and after pictures. He doesn't even look like the same guy that I met a few years ago. And another thing, he's got guns on him now too. And I don't mean the pew-pews. He's got some arms on him. I told him, I said, I'm not going to be challenging you to an arm wrestling match. But he has lost a significant amount of weight. He's working out. He's eating right. He's doing all the things that he should be. And he's probably added decades to his life, at least several years, probably decades to his life, because it's obvious that he's much healthier now. And TC Boggs is laughing at midlife. Yeah, midlife says your weight loss has inspired me. Yeah, I'm not too sure. Something for him to think about. He might want to do another channel, or maybe devote part. I don't like people doing several things on one channel. I think it kills it. But he might want to develop another channel and do politics on one and do weight loss and healthy living on another, because like he'll do a lot of his videos where he's going to a park, I guess that's nearby his house, and walking around. And I like the way he does his videos. He doesn't body shame you and go, oh, well, you're all fat and I'm in shape now. But he's just kind of like talking about his journey. And most of the times it's about politics. And I enjoy that too. But this, I think weight loss and being healthy is something a lot of truck drivers struggle with. And I think he's led by example. I think he could provide a lot of good information to people. Yes, James Hellwig still shows up a few times a week. He even calls the recruits himself the Friday before the Monday that orientation starts. It's been good. So he calls each one of you individually? That is cool. I'd like to meet the guy if he ever shows up at a truck show or something, just because, you know, when you hear that much good about one person, and even it's not just on like his company pages, it's like you get in the truck forums and everything, people really talk good about him. So I'd like to walk up, shake his hand, and kind of talk to him a few minutes if that opportunity ever presents itself. Another one is Don Oren, the former owner of Dart. I would just like to shake his hand and thank him. A lot of what I'm doing now is a direct result of his company and the opportunities that he gave me. And so he's pretty old now. I doubt I'll ever see him, but if we ever cross paths, I'd like 30 seconds to shake his hand and just say thank you. And no, it's not kissing up, because there's nothing he can do to benefit me at this point in my life. He's not a part of DART anymore. But him and his sons, I'd like to meet his son, Dave Oren, as well, because he did a lot of things when he was in charge of the company that directly benefited me as well. So those are three guys. I've got a long list of people I hope to meet at some point. Jerry Moyes from Swift. He's still a minority owner of the company. I think he owns like 20% now. But he was there the 4.5 years that I was the first time. And he did a lot of positive things for drivers that I'd just like the opportunity to say thank you for. And let's see here. We got TC Boggs. Right on, Tom. You're a guy that accomplishes whatever you put your mind to. Scott Smith, does TransAm do tanker or hopper? Not that I'm aware of. And the reason I say not that I'm aware of, I know Prime does some of that, and I'm not aware of TransAm being involved in that. I don't know if there's insurance differences that prevent them from doing it, or if it's how they've got their DOT numbers set up. I do not know the specifics, did not ask, but definitely if that's something you're interested in, I know you're still a ways away from being ready. Holler at me when you get ready to make the jump, and I'll make some phone calls. It may be one of those deals that they're not doing it now, but a year or so from now, when you're ready to do something, they might be able to do it at that time. And I'll definitely make some phone calls, and we'll find out together. Also, I have recorded some YouTube shorts. This is Jesus' Name Above All Names. He's a channel member. I don't know if I've been saying that on y'all. He's a channel member, and he's recorded some YouTube shorts about Hellwigs in hopes to get some referrals on the longer video side. I have been putting out some videos with some praying and Bible reading, been busy. So let me tell you about recruiting for trucking companies, because I get this question a lot. Todd, how can I recruit for a trucking company? I'm going to say it, and it's going to sound really basic, and you're going to go, well, that's dumb, Todd. First thing is drive the truck. If you're successful, and I'll give you an example, and it's a guy that doesn't like me very much right now, and that's okay. Cassius King. Cassius King on his YouTube channel has never said where he works at. It's top secret. Nobody knows. I got pretty close to his circle of friends, and I couldn't find out. But people beg him to tell them where he's working, because they can see that he drives the truck and he's happy. If you want people to come to wherever you're at, the first thing you got to do is you got to be happy there, and you got to be successful there. People can see it on your face in a video if you like where you're working or not. And your happiness, your optimism is infectious. If they see you doing well, then they want to be a part of that. Hey, where are you working? Are they hiring? Can I get on there? If you're always negative and you're down in the dumps and, you know, things like that, they don't want to go there. And so that's the first thing. Secondly, I would say, do like I do. Say, hey, if you're interested in the company, call. If you feel like mentioning me, mention me. If you don't, that's fine. I'll still help you. And the reason is, I have people that, I had a guy, August, for example, the guy I mentioned, he told the company, he's like, I want to make sure that Todd gets a referral for this. I'm not coming if he don't. And they're like, oh yeah, we've got Todd on the application. And, that wasn't me telling him to do that, but because I helped him, because I was so good, he felt obligated to make sure I was on there. And that's what I would tell you. Are you going to get every single person you talk to? Absolutely not. And don't even worry about it. Keep doing the right thing. Keep telling the truth. I mentioned at the start of this video some issues I had with TransAm today. There will still be people that'll call and apply this week because I've been honest. People expect there to be problems at companies. They just expect you to be honest and tell them the truth. And I've told y'all, for the 5 years I've been doing this, I feel like an umpire. I call balls and strikes. When TransAm does something great, and I mentioned some great things, like when I went to MATS, they were very supportive of me going. I mentioned that. When they do something wrong, I contact them first and try to let them fix it, because I don't want to blindside them with an attack that they might have said, hey, if we'd have known about that, we'd have fixed it. And you guys know that at Garrison for about a month, I tried to get that money back before I ever put anything out on the internet about it. They have since made it right, so I've quit talking about them, or mostly made it right. They did something that I felt fair enough to drop it, and I've dropped it. I'm not bad mouthing Garrison anymore. But it's just keep doing the right thing. Keep helping people, whether they're ever going to benefit you in any way or not. If you see a guy at the truck stop struggling to back into a spot, he may not jump out of the truck and say, hey, how do I sign up to come to Hellwig? But he may go out and help somebody else, and that'll make trucking as a whole better as we all start doing that. If somebody's got a dead battery and you've got some jumper cables and you can jump them off, or you can show them how to jump their own truck off with their reefer or something like that. They may not say, hey, sign me up to come to Hellwig, but they might, help somebody else, which makes trucking a better place for all of us. And so that's what I would say about that. And that's part of why I go to all these booths. It's why I'm wearing Like Trucking's hat tonight. I don't work for Like Trucking. I've never worked for Like Trucking. But I can tell you they're good people over there. It's a good company. I know several people over there, both drivers and office people, and now the owner of the company. And they're good people. And so if you think I'm full of baloney, you're worried I'm going to get a referral bonus, don't come here. Go do a lease purchase at Like Trucking or SRO Logistics. Well, SRO Logistics doesn't do lease purchase. Go buy you a truck from a dealership and go to one of those companies. But by the same token, if I tell you a company I know is bad, then don't go there. I hope you don't go there. I can tell you everybody I've worked for in the past 5 or 6 years has been pretty good. I still don't recommend the shop in Lancaster for Dart. That's ultimately what led me to leaving there. But the company was good when I left there. I don't know about now. They're under new ownership. But yeah, and I didn't mean to get on my soapbox here, but I believe that if you just keep doing the right thing, that things work out. And so far I've been right. When I think, when everybody pronounces me dead and goes, oh, Todd will never drive a truck again. Todd's done now. Todd's going to be homeless. Todd's going to lose this. Todd's wife's going to leave me. I always bounce back. And it's fun to watch how much it triggers some of these people. And we talked about this several times at MATS. I can make a video and I can say, I had a bad day. I blew 3 tires today. And it'll get tons of views and thumbs up and everybody's happy. I can do another video. I can say, man, I had a great day. I love TransAm. Things are going great. The sun is shining. And it makes people fight and mad. It triggers them. It almost makes me want to do it just to see how triggered they get. And I'm going to do it. Matter of fact, next time I'm at the Kansas yard, I'm going to go out and film some of the brand new trucks they got in and post them just to upset some of these naysayers out here. I don't see how people can go through life being so negative and so angry all the time. It's fascinating to me. They say the average truck driver lives to 61. I'm 59. I need to get down to 180 and increase my odds. Yeah, when I was doing that statistics video the other day, it said that 40 to 50% of people that have a stroke die within the first 5 years. And I'm at year 2 or 3 right now. I don't even remember. 23. I guess I'm at year 3 right now. No, I got to be at year 2. I don't know. Either way, that kind of concerned me. I got to thinking about it. Yeah, but a lot of people that have strokes they first of all have a lot worse strokes than what I had. I had 15 very mild ones. An hour after it, I was in pretty good shape. I had my motor functions back. I was stuttering a little, but for the most part, I was okay. I was talking on the phone. I was able to operate my cell phone, all that. They were really impressed. But matter of fact, riding the ambulance, I was on my phone texting and answering people while I was in the ambulance. For part of it anyway, till I got bad. And well, that's another story. But anyway, so that's kind of concerning, but thinking that it's mostly older people and they generally have worse strokes, I think I'm in the 50% that'll be just fine. But you start realizing your own mortality, and that's part of why I did a lease. I just didn't want to strap my family with a financial commitment until I was sure I could handle the pressure and everything. And I think I'm good. I think I'm showing I can do it. I still test myself. And that interview at MATS was a test, and I failed it. I went blank. A lot of you have been really kind and said I did good. But to me, that was a failure. I've got to be better, and I've got to do better. And as soon as we went off the air, I apologized to Mike. And I said, man, I got to come on a Monday show and redeem myself. And he said, yeah, we'll get you on. And he's been calling me, trying to get me on. And it seems like every Monday night when he's getting ready to go on, I'm stuck at a shipper or something and I can't do it. But eventually I'm going to get on his show and I'm going to redeem myself. It's just for whatever day I wasn't me that day for whatever reason. I like trucking. T-Bone, Shannon, pick up there also today. Oh, I didn't know T-Bone was a light trucking driver. I'm actually wearing their hat. I mentioned that a minute ago. This hat is super comfortable. I can't show you because I got to take my headset off, but the whole band of it is elastic and it just hugs your head. It doesn't slip. It's really, really comfortable. I didn't ask him because we talked about me and his dispatcher safety guy, Snorlord, who also has a YouTube channel and does a morning podcast y'all should check out. I was asking him about a merch store because he's got one, and he was kind of telling me how to do it, showed me some stuff on his phone. And I didn't even ask about hats like this, but I bet these hats are a significant dollar amount because they're so comfortable. Terry Cabover Kid, those caramels were really good. Yeah, I was just talking about those. They were some of the best I've ever had. And if his mom ever decides to sell them, I'll be one of the first customers. Jeff, I told him to pay up. Those caramels aren't free. Yeah, no kidding. Well, y'all might not. I don't know if y'all was over at the booth when I was asking nobody. I said, "Hey man, will your mom sell these?" I was ready to buy some, and he's like, "Take you a couple of handfuls." So I did, and he said, "Give them away," and I gave a couple of them away, but I was biased on keeping them for myself and taking them back to Texas and sharing them with some people there. But he said his mom's going to make them next year for MATS too. And that sentence right there, pretty much guaranteed I'll be at MATS next year. And it pretty much guaranteed I'll be over at the trucking booth as well. So, man, they were good. When I started this show tonight, I had no idea I'd be talking about caramels, but it is so true. I can't overemphasize it enough how good they were. And TC Boggs, looky who's walking through the door. Howdy, guys and gals. Yeah, we got the whole gang here tonight. Midlife Trucker, we got a freeze dryer and make candy, and I'm on a diet. Well, I guess we could put this out there. And there is a sugar-free cotton candy, which would be my preference if anybody wants to make some and send it to me. But even cotton candy with sugar, if anybody wants to send me some cotton candy, I've seen a bunch of it at Walmart today, and I almost bought some. But it's not as good as the homemade stuff or like what you get at the fair. I'm way too good looking to be your 1188. Hey, man, good to see you again. So he's been popping up in the videos lately. He says, do you buy recaps or straight up brand new tires? So when I was at SRO Logistics, I haven't had to buy tires here at TransAm. They had brand new ones or basically brand new on it when I got it. I kind of went both ways. I've got competing theories on there, and it doesn't matter what I say here. Somebody's going to say I've got it wrong. I'm dumb. But part of me thinks get the more expensive tires with the lower rolling resistance, the better fuel economy. You're probably going to get longevity out of them. And then part of me says, yeah, but there's so much that can happen along the way. You can get cupping. You can get, you could run over something in the road. You could get a nail on the shoulder of the tire. and then you've just wasted all that money you saved on the tire by having to replace it. So when I was at SRO, he had a really good deal on double coin drive tires. And I know what you're all saying, and I'm saying the same thing in my mind. But those double coins turned out to be pretty good drive tires. They had a really deep tread on them, and they seem to last a long time. I did experiment with a couple of the Loves recaps because another YouTube channel I used to follow was talking about how great they were and how great the warranty was on them. And I drove those things about 2 or 3 months, and the sidewalls on them started dry rotting. And I said right then, never again would I get those Loves recaps that everybody swears is so good. So now this truck has good tires on it all the way around. And you know that, Kenworth's going to put good tires on there. I can't remember what brand is on there right now. It's escaping my brain. I'm still dealing with the after effects of fatigue from MATS. But when these tires go, if I've still got this truck, I don't know if I would do double coin or if I'd go ahead and pony up and get the good ones. I'll tell you another factor that factors into it is the company you're working at, what their tire discount is. Like oftentimes for what you're going to spend for a double coin, for $20 more, you can get a really nice brand name tire. And so it's the devil's always in the details about where can I get the best deal. And when it comes that time, I'll just get whatever makes the most logical sense and whatever the best deal is. And then I'll share with y'all what I did and go from there. And also, while I'm on it, I don't recommend getting tires at truck stops. If you can go to Southern Tire or somewhere like that, there's a couple of places in Lubbock. Oftentimes you can get a lot better deal on tires. It doesn't matter so much when they've got a national account because the national account makes it pretty much the same everywhere. And I like trucking. Awesome caramels. Yeah, they were. And they had a pretty nice little, Light Trucking had a pretty nice little booth there this year. I was surprised they were there, but I was glad to see them. Got to see Shannon Thomas again. It's the first time we've met in person. We've talked on the phone a lot. We've texted back and forth from time to time. And I got to meet Nobody. He's commented on some videos, and he's a super nice guy. And several others that you saw here in the comments. But I feel like I'm discounting everybody else because I keep talking about the caramels. And I've already talked about Jeff's truck and how much I liked it. He almost turned me into a Dodge man. That truck was nice. There was nothing wrong with it. Midlife trucker, someone has to move cargo while all you socialize at MATS. There you go. Yeah, but we need the great minds of trucking there. We needed you there this year. You got to come next year. Gary Cab over LOL. No wonder his booth was so empty. Yeah, he should have been selling Trucker Todd t-shirts or something at his booth. That would have been cool. I don't know if this was his first year there or not. It was pretty nice, but I got a feeling that he's all in now. He's probably going to do even more next year. That's just me speculating, though. I don't have any insider knowledge. TC Boggs, I'm going to be nice to you, but it's difficult. I like trucking. Great talking to you, Todd. Nice headset. Thank you. Yeah, I'm still wearing that RW3. I really, really like it. And the greatest compliment I got was I went over to the Road Warrior booth at the end. I said, man, I went and shook all the hands. It's kind of like I did at y'all's booth. Said, it's good to see you all again and meet everybody. And they said, Todd, we had several of your viewers come by and order headsets. they demoed them and they said it's just like you said, and they're like, man, we appreciate all your videos, and that's the ultimate compliment when people go try something that you've recommended and it's exactly like you told them it was. And then when they mention you to that booth, I didn't make $1 off those headsets being sold. There's no commission structure, no referral code. But you know what I did? I gained some credibility. I made some friendships with that company. And I'll guarantee you when the RW4 comes out, we'll be working together. And along the way, there'll be opportunities for us to do other stuff. And when they're rubbing elbows with other company people, they'll say, hey, you know, Trucker Todd's a good dude. He's got good viewers. Check him out. And I saw that a lot there. A lot of networking took place, and I had a lot of good opportunities that I might not have otherwise had. I have to work a little harder than what some of these YouTubers do. I met Grinding Gears. He's got a YouTube channel. He's at about 20,000, so his is almost triple the size of mine. He's a great guy, really friendly. We had a good conversation, and I was surprised to find out some of his viewers cross-watch his channel and my channel, which he does like a flatbed or a step deck. And so I was real surprised that, you know, one of his viewers was like, hey, you're Trucker Todd. I watch your stuff. And so we kind of sat in a circle and talked for a little bit after he finished doing his interview with Truck Parking Club right before I went on. And he's a great guy. Another channel, if y'all have never checked out Grinding Gears, really professional, really well-spoken, good guy. And Terry Cabover, LOL TC. Robert says, where's my headset, Jeff? Was Jeff giving away headsets? I could always use a spare. Midlife says the fact that the major carriers were not there kind of leads to the fact that recruiting is picky as they have too many drivers for their loads. Well, Trucking with the Fly Rabbit was there. He's a big Swift recruiter, but he wasn't there at a Swift booth. He was there for an insurance company he promotes. And they did it live. It didn't look like it drew a lot of attention. I don't know that it's anything against his channel. It's kind of like when I did the tax videos. It's information we all need. Insurance is information we all need, but it's boring and it's not something we want to watch a video on every week. And it's definitely probably not something that we want to talk about at MATS. Now, they had a big booth and it costs a lot of money to get his truck in there. They probably spent $10,000 or $15,000 on that booth. But yeah, I know he was there. He had his Call Michelle windshield visor thing out, and he was trying to recruit for Swift. But I don't think any of the big mega carriers had an actual booth there. Oh, come on. There it went. Midlife, it's way too hard to recruit for where I'm at now due to the fact that we just don't have that many open trucks. I think drivers have started staying at the same carrier longer. Well, like I was saying earlier, Midlife, I think you're recruiting the best possible way. You went to Cheeseman and you're being successful there. And, you know, I've even asked you before, hey, does Cheeseman hire in my area? And you said no. And so the fact that you're there and happy, I think that's your best recruiting tool. And I don't think you necessarily have to put out videos saying, come to Cheeseman, come to Cheeseman. I think people watch your stuff and they go, hey, there's a guy that likes what he's doing. He's happy. And they're going to gravitate towards that and want to come there. Robert says, shoot, back in the day, a shower was $5 with a $5 towel deposit. Now they charge us an arm and a leg. Yeah, I was at a place the other day. The shower was $27. And I'm like, I can remember when you could get a decent hotel room for $27. And it's just, everything's getting ridiculous. There's got to be a stop to it at some point. Midlife says the reason the truck stops restaurants were able to charge so little was volume. They were so busy they had to have truck driver only sections. Yeah, there's probably a lot of that. I think the truck stops hurt themselves a lot. Well, definitely during COVID, after the buffets went away, that was a big deal. But just by their food choices, everything was so unhealthy and so fried and so processed. And I think a lot of truck drivers are doing like TC. They want to eat healthy. They want to exercise. They don't want to be nagged about their health, but they want to kind of get healthier at their own pace. And I avoid buffets now as much as I can because I can't eat enough being on Manjaro to justify the expense. It's time you get a drink, it's over $20, and I eat 1 or 2 plates and I can barely walk out of the place. Brian Produce, I'm not a huge fan of bonehead truckers. I don't think he represents the industry well. So I don't really know the guy that well, to be honest. We've talked a couple of times, I think even once or twice on the phone. But, you know, him and Trucker's Coach used to be pretty big buddies. And once I realized what Jason Pote was, what Trucker's Coach was, and I separated myself from that, I guess I became a mortal enemy of bonehead truckers. He still shook my hand, but he was pretty dismissive after that. And so, I mean, that's fine with me. Sometimes I go up and shake their hand just to irritate them. And that's fine. TC Boggs, not a bad idea, Todd. I've been itching to try other topics anyway. That's a good, positive route. Well, I mean, if it was me and I was you, I would put a picture. I'd do picture in picture, and I would put a picture at you at your heaviest weight in an unflattering picture in 1/4 of the screen. And then I'd put a picture of you, you know, flexing in front of a mirror or something in another corner of the screen. And then I would have you in the middle talking about, here's what my diet routine looks like. Here's how I exercise, both when I'm at home and when I'm out on the road. Things like that. And I think you'd be surprised. You know the YouTube game. It takes a while. Your first videos are going to tank. Nobody's going to watch. You may get a few people if you promote it on your other channel, or if some of us promote it for you, which I'd be glad to do. But eventually it's going to take off, and you're going to get a few hundred people that you might actually change their life or make a difference in their life because you've done it. You know what to do. I like trucking. TC, what's happening? TC says, hey, Jeff, hope you're kicking butt. For those that don't know, that don't follow regularly, I put everybody's comments, unless they're vulgar or really, really disrespectful, up on the screen, and I read them because we've got a lot of people that are watching that can't read the screen because they're driving, so they turn their phone where they can't see it, but they can listen. And so I do that so that they can be a part of the show and know what's going on. And so if you're wondering, why is he putting every comment on the screen and reading it? That's why. I'm trying to be as inclusive as I can for those that can only join us through audio. Midlife, I've shown every pay statement since 2019, and people notice that. Some people ask why show the bad ones. You got to show them all. Yeah, I had a guy, I've told this story before. When I worked at Roadrunner, we're going way back. My channel, I had probably 400 or 500 subscribers then. This is over 5 years ago for the job hopper comments that I know are coming. And he's actually the guy that helped me get the channel going. And I found out some stuff about him and decided we couldn't be friends no more. But that's neither here nor there. That's another story. Rabbit. Anyway, he said, Todd, I see you, because I used to put all my settlements up like what you're talking about, midlife. He said, I see your settlements and I don't believe it. I said, well, what have I got to do to convince you? Because I really wanted this man's respect. He helped me with my YouTube channel. I thought he was a smart guy. He had a lot of great information. He said, send me 6 months worth of settlements, every single one of them. Don't skip a week. I said, all right, for you, I'll do it. And I sent him 6 consecutive months of settlements of Roadrunner. And he called me. He said, Todd, I'm looking at these settlements and I still don't believe it. And I said, well, if you don't believe it at this point, after I've done exactly what you told me to do, then there's nothing else I can do. You're never going to believe it. He said, well, go through it with me. And we went through it. Well, I don't see your truck payments. I said, well, look on this page. It's right here. Well, I don't see your diesel. I'll look right here, right here. And I went through not all 6 months worth, but I went through several settlements with it. And he's like, I see it, but I still don't believe it. Well, I guess you're just going to have to not believe it. And that's when I learned that. I still went and showed some at Swift, because you'd get the people, oh, there's no way you can make that kind of money at Swift. And so I'd show it. And I've even got videos that are out there where they say, well, yeah, you're doing it because of referrals. So I'd subtract the referrals out and say, well, this is what I would have made with no referrals. And I've just learned now that it's not worth it. I'm not trying to impress anybody anymore. I don't care if people believe me or don't believe me. I'm out here doing my thing. I think most people, especially the people that's in the inner circle, I think they know I'm happy. And I think a lot of them are privately happy and relieved for me. I went through a tough patch right before the stroke, and then the stroke, and then that 7 months afterwards working at AT&T was a rough patch. And I think people see that I'm starting to pull myself out now, and I'm in a lot better place. And I think there's a lot of people that are happy for me now. And so, yeah, I just saw a comment. I'm going to read it real quick. Jesus' name above all names. I met Cash in Texas one day. I saw the company name he works for is a company 99% of drivers never heard of. I'll respect his desire to keep it a secret. Yeah, I would have, if I would have found out that day, I would have never said where it was. You get curious, because like I was talking about in my example earlier, you can tell that he's really, really happy there, and that they treat him good and things like that. And some of the stuff he says about them, oh boy. I think my eyeglasses are going dead. Hey, Meta, what's my battery level? Nope, it's still good. We're good. We're good. But yeah, that's good that you'll keep it a secret for him. But he almost every video he does, somebody asks where you work, and he's even started saying in his videos, I don't watch him anymore since he got mad at me. But he even says in his videos, I don't say where I work, and that keeps them out of my business. And so you can definitely understand that. But he's a good example of a guy that, just because of how happy he is where that, if he wanted to recruit, it'd be very easy for him. Steve Given, does Prime set the rates for TransAm? And if TransAm gives you a load with a low rate, can you negotiate a higher rate? So those are great questions. As far as I know, TransAm, when they get the load, it is what it is, and I get 70% of it. They did, for the most part, I haven't seen an ability to negotiate. Sometimes they will throw a little extra on there. They did on one of mine. Hey, we really need this load done. If we put 250 or 300 extra on there, would you do it? Typically, though, it is what it is, and I just say yes or no. Like I say, today, I said no to two of them right there together. The loads just didn't make sense. TC Boggs says they are good people. I assume you're talking about Like Trucking. Yeah, they are good people. With good caramel. Sid says, how many terminals does TransAm have? They just have the one in Olathe, Kansas, to the best of my knowledge. I'm not aware of another one, but we are allowed to use the prime terminals. I don't know if we can use the Western Flyer terminal. I haven't asked. I try to avoid the terminals as much as I can. Now I go to the Olathe, Kansas one when I can, because I like to go in there and visit with people and things like that. But going to the other terminals, I try to stay out of there as much as I can. Blues Trucker, I don't know why people have to talk crap about somebody's problems with owner-operators. I appreciate when people talk about the issues. I have built my plans to do owner-operator based on the issues others have had. Yeah, I used to have a sales manager back in the day that said, learn from the donkey. And basically, it was learn from the mistakes of others. So, I mean, and I've had people tell me, that's why they like my channel. They learn from my successes and they learn when I fall on my face. And so that's good that people can learn through my trial and error. I've told people too, probably the first, 17, 18 years of trucking, I didn't take it real seriously. I didn't try real hard. And so I left a lot of money on the table. I should have been done by now. But I always thought I'm going to do it another year or two and I'm going to go back to sales. I never viewed trucking as something I was going to do for the remainder of my work life. And now I've kind of painted myself in a corner to where I'll be doing it probably as long as I can do anything. As long as I'm legally able to drive a truck, then that's what I'll be doing. I had somebody recently say in the comments that I was a danger on the highway and I should not be driving since I had those strokes. I would like to reassure everybody I've had thousands upon thousands of dollars of tests done on me through a neurologist, through a cardiologist, through my PCP, brain scans, stuff you guys have probably never had. And all of them, after 7 months, was confident I was ready to go. I've had cognitive tests, everything. I'm very safe to be on the road. Those doctors would not risk their medical license to put one truck driver back on the road just because they thought he needed to make a check. Brian Produce, does anyone remember the old Tempe Super Seal reefers? Yes, but barely. That's you're going way back there now. Oh, this is a great point. Midlife Trucker, I demoed my RW3 on a loud zero-turn lawnmower, great noise cancellation. Yeah, I saw that video. That was the one that made me wish you were at MATS. I was hoping you were going to show up. I would have liked to have shook your hand and talked to you for a little bit. I know we've had our differences at times, but I would like to meet you. I don't have any hard feelings or beef with you. And I know you're on some channels where they do have hard feelings and beef with me, but I hope you and I can meet and discuss some things at some point in time. I like trucking. Todd, I know your next truck is a big Ram and not a Ford. Yeah, especially if it was a sign-on bonus. Hint, hint. Midlife trucker, the reason the travel centers charge for showers is so there will be showers available for their customers. Truthfully, most of us don't pay for showers. That is true, but I've been in a situation. I'll give you an example. When I worked at SRO Logistics, we primarily fueled at TA Petro. That's where you got the best discounts. Almost never went to Pilot Flying. Well, we never went to Pilot Flying J, and I don't think I ever went to Love's. Might went once or twice. The card was kind of limited where we could go. Well, sometimes you got to an area where there was no TA Petro, and if you wanted a shower, you had to pay for it. So I found myself occasionally having to buy showers. Now over here, we're supposed to get capped out on the rewards on all the truck stops, and I've found that to be somewhat true. We do at Love's. I'm at platinum status at Love's. I have not been able to accomplish that with TA Petro yet, and with Pilot Flying J, we get it at 750 gallons, and I think most people get it at 1,000 gallons, which is hard to hit here because you're going to different fuel stops than what you would normally do. Hang on real quick. I'll be right back. All righty, I'm back. Had to shut my curtain a little bit. Now my tea is trying to spill on me. I bought this cartoonishly large mug at Walmart, and I filled it with iced tea. It's pretty nice. Midlife says, imagine how long the lines would be at Love's or Pilot if everyone got free showers and not just the people who fuel there. Well, but they could do like they used to do the trucker lounges and make it where, you had to show a CDL or a company fuel card or something like that. They could thin the herd a little bit. And quite honestly, I kind of wonder if the lines would change at all. We got so many drivers right now that are basically taking showers in the bathroom sinks at these truck stops. I seen a guy the other day that was in his underwear giving himself a bath at the sink in the bathroom. I'm like, dude, I'll get you a shower. You ain't got to do this. It's nasty. And so that it's hygiene has got really, really bad out here. Really, really bad. TC Boggs got a boogie. Good talking to you again, Todd. Yeah, good to see you, TC. Thanks for popping in tonight. Man, we're at the 2-hour mark. I can't believe it. Mikey Jones, Todd, what is the best company to do a lease purchase with? So that is a great question. And I had a guy ask me that the other day, and it's really tough to answer because A, it depends on where you live. B, it depends on what you want to haul. And, you know, there's just a lot of factors. It's different for everybody. What's the best for me might not be the best for you. I really, really like trucking. And so that would be somewhere I would probably recommend. I like TransAm, but if you don't want to pull a reefer, TransAm's not a good fit. If you're wanting to do tanker or pneumatic, like trucking might not be a good fit. If you're a guy that likes to violate your logbook and drive illegally, you probably need to go to the Russian companies and do a lease purchase there. Like trucking's probably not going to put up with a lot of logbook violations, you know, extending your loads with PC, things like that. I don't work there. I'm just going off the vibe I get from them. I get the vibe they want you to run legal and safe and things like that. But that's what I would say is, you know, I like trucking. That's probably, if I wasn't at TransAm, that's probably where I'd go. I met a lot of great people there, left with a very positive opinion about the company. Not only the company, but the people that work there, the other drivers. And so that would probably be somewhere I'd recommend. Now, if you want to do oil field work, like trucking's probably not a great fit for you. I don't know that for a fact. You could call them, talk to them, see how they feel about that. But it's, you know, that's the great thing about trucking. We were talking about this at MATS too. Whatever you want to do, there's somebody doing it, and there's a way you can do what you want to do. You just got to find it. Blues Trucker says that doctor comment made me think of an old joke. Doctor gave a guy 6 months to live, couldn't pay the bill, gave him another 6 months. Yeah. I haven't told you all this story. I went to the doctor recently, and he said, Todd, you really need to lose some weight. I said, I want a second opinion. He said, well, you're ugly too. Oh, man. That bonus might get you one lug nut on that truck. Oh, that's funny. I just want to drive it. I think I would be content if I could drive it. That's Jeff, have you thought about letting that truck come to Texas for a week or two? Okay, so here we go. Mikey Jones says, Chattanooga area, I'm pulling a reefer now. So if you're not opposed to reefer, you live in a great area for either company, TransAm, or if you want to do a dry van, like trucking would also be good. But if you want to stay in reefer, TransAm. If you want to go dry van, like trucking would be a great way to go. But some of it depends on kind of what you're looking for. There's a lot of companies in that area. I wouldn't do F2F. I probably wouldn't do Covenant or none of those. I wouldn't do Varian or US Express. Right now, you know, I don't, contrary to popular belief, I don't go out and look at a lot of companies. I tend to zero in on one or two and go that route. If If TransAm called me tomorrow morning and said, Todd, it's all over, get out of our truck, there's probably a plus 90% chance I would call Like Trucking. And so that's kind of where my head's at now. Obviously, I have a good opinion about both places. There may be some other places that I don't know about. If I wanted a good company job and I lived in the right area, I'd probably contact Midlife about Cheeseman. I think you're out of his hiring area too, where you're living, but it just geography has a lot to do with it. And where I live in Lubbock, Texas, it's very difficult to find companies that want to hire out of that area. And quite honestly, it's why I like self-dispatch, because I know that area and I can get me in and out of there a lot better and a lot with less drama than what a lot of companies can. I want to make me money and not a company. Well, it doesn't matter what you do in life. You're always going to make somebody money. Even if you own the company, you're still making the government money. You're still making brokers money. Somebody is always going to make money off of you. If you're a company driver, they're really going to make money off of you. If you're a lease purchase or owner operator or whatever you want to call yourself, the company might make money off of you. If you're a deadbeat, they can still lose money on you. It costs them anywhere from $3,000 to $7,000 to hire you. And if you turn out to be a flake, then they lose that $3,000 to $7,000. I'm always amazed at people that'll walk out of an orientation. That company spent a lot of money to get them there. Heck, we had two at TransAm that showed up and couldn't pass the driving test, and there was two in the week after class 2, and so that's pretty bad that they spend all that money hiring and transporting somebody there, and then the guy can't even pass the driving test. And I'm not singling out TransAm. That happens at a lot of companies. It's where the guy gets there and fails the drug test, or they get him a plane ticket and everything, and the guy doesn't show up, or he oversleeps class, or there's a lot of variables there that people don't often think about. Hey, Ted Van Buskirk, I almost called you today. I was wondering how you were doing. Hello, Mr. Todd. Glad to see you. Hope all is well. Yeah, I'm doing good. We've had a steady 26 or so in here tonight, but as some go, new ones come in, and I'm sure we're going to get a lot in the replay gang. Several people texted me and said they couldn't watch tonight, but that they would catch it in the replay. So that's fine. I get it. I appreciate you coming in, though, Ted. How are things going for you over there? I think I'm going to want to talk to you in the next couple of days. If you get some free time, give me a call, Ted Van Buskirk. I want to talk to you. All right, we're caught up on the comments, and we're just about at we're over the 2-hour mark. So we're at the part where I need to give you guys a chance to type. Guys and gals, I'm not forgetting the lady viewers. I need to give everyone, I like that better. I need to give everyone a chance to type their comments. While I'm doing that, everybody give this video a thumbs up, please. Share it on your social media platforms and make sure you're subscribed. After you do that, click that bell, select all, so that you receive notifications when future videos come out. Also, while you're down below the video, there's a button that says join. If you click that, for just $5 a month, you can become a channel member. Also, to the right of where you type your comments, there's a $sign. If you click there, you can donate to the channel. It's not required, but it is appreciated, just as it is for all of y'all being here tonight. But most of the stuff I mentioned is free. The liking, the subscribing, the thumbs up, and all of that. So the least you could do is help a brother out and do those things. Ditch Doctor. Hey, Todd, love your show. Thank you. Appreciate that. Blues Trucker, got to get rolling. Have a good night, all. Thanks, Blues, for stopping in. Good to see you. We'll catch you another time. Try to catch the rest of the show in the replay tomorrow if you get a chance. I don't know how late we'll go tonight. It seems like things are slowing down. Ted Van Buskirk, I'm great. Just been sick on the road, but all is good. So the company's treating you good then? I'm going to take that off. I've been doing comments so fast, y'all haven't seen my neat little Trucker Todd thing in the bottom there. Blues Trucker says he'll be listening as he drives. All right, man, I appreciate it. Yeah, we've got a lot of that, and that's why, you know, it's fine if we've got 20-something people in here, because I know most of you will watching the replay that aren't here tonight. Many of you are listening while you drive, and that's why the comments slow down sometimes, because you're driving. Number one thing, be safe while you're driving. Just listen as you can. I appreciate that. If we ever do anything that I need to show you something visually, I'll give you pre-warning it's coming, and you can, you know, go back and watch that part of the video later or whatever and see it. Most of the time, it's just me rambling. Ted Van Buskirk, yes, sir. But I'm noticing that I didn't notice till just now. Not many of my channel members are here tonight. I don't know where everybody is. It's good that we got a crowd, but all the channel members are sitting this one out. All right, I'm going to give it a couple more minutes. We're down below 20 now. I think everybody's getting tired. It's almost everybody's time. Getting ready to wrap this video up. We'll do our normal routine of I'll irritate the trolls by saying, y'all have a good night. And we'll cue up the music, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. Thank y'all for coming in tonight. Bye-bye.
And this is why I do this, why I'm out here, why I keep that hammer down. Flying by these road signs with home on my mind, with these wheels turning round. For my family and for my kids, for this life I want.